Hello and welcome. My name is Saja Brown, and today we're going to be talking about reality. And now I chose this topic as the topic for today's video because as the body of Christ, we are going to face a litany of trials and tribulations. This walk is not going to be easy for us. But nonetheless, we need to come to terms with reality. And so I thought it important to highlight 5 harsh realities that almost every Christian is going to have to face if we are going to walk in the truth of Christ. So without further ado, let's get into our very first point, which is not so missing puzzle piece. And the verse for this point is Amos 3, verse 3, which says, "Two cannot walk together unless they have agreed to meet." It is very likely that at some point in your life, you will stumble across someone who feels like you're missing puzzle piece, who feels like they were made for you. They're everything that you've ever wanted in a friend or a partner or a close companion, and it feels as though this person is going to be a permanent part of your life. But as we know, our feelings aren't always in direct alignment with God's plan. So though you may meet someone who feels as though they are perfect for you, and you think that you and this person are going to be inseparable, there may come a time where you have to part ways, where you guys just don't fit into each other's lives anymore. You begin to drift away, you begin to veer in different paths as you walk with Christ, and you'll have to let them go. You'll have to let them go. It's a harsh reality, but nonetheless, it's one that you need to face. You need to face that there might not be any animosity. You need to face that there might not be any bad blood. You need to face that there might not be any bitterness or resentment or betrayal. But just a simple change of course, change of plans. And that's okay. It may be hard to face. It may be a painful reality, but nonetheless, it is reality, and you've got to step into it, and you got to step into it with God. So yeah, that's point number 1. And now moving on to point number 2, we have not everyone will understand your growth. And for this point, we have 1 John 3, verse 13, which says, "Do not be surprised, brothers, that the world hates you." As the body of Christ, we embrace that we are not perfect. We embrace that we do not have all the answers, and we embrace that we may fall, we may stumble, and make some not so good decisions. Our walk is a walk of change, it's a walk of learning, and it's a walk that demands growth. But not everybody will be comfortable with that. As you grow, as you evolve, some people won't be able to accept the person that you're becoming. And now there's 2 things I want to emphasize with this. Firstly being, it's okay for them to be uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable for everybody involved. So it's okay for them to be uncomfortable. But also, it's okay for you to continue to grow. Their discomfort does not mean that your growth is wrong. But it does mean that some relationships won't survive the journey. They can be uncomfortable, but if their discomfort is going to halt the growth that you need to go through, then they will get lost along that journey, and that's okay. And you got to lean on God for that. And then we have our 3rd point, which is closure isn't always an option. And the verse for this point is Deuteronomy 29, verse 29, which says, "The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever." Sometimes you won't get an answer. Sometimes others will leave your life with no explanation, none whatsoever. And though it sucks, and it's disheartening, and it's hurtful, you can't rest in that space of confusion. You can't dwell there. There is glory to be found in your next steps, and your steps towards tomorrow, and your steps towards the future, and your steps moving forward with Christ. But there is no glory, there is no happiness, there is no joy that is to be found in ruminating, in fighting for answers that you simply won't get, at least not in this lifetime. It's unfortunate, it may hurt, But some mysteries are going to be left up to God. You got to be okay with that. Okay with knowing that He knows the answer. He knows why they did it. He knows the answer. And if He wanted me to have the answer, I'd get it. If He wanted me to have it this very moment. But He hasn't given it to me. And that's okay. So, what's next? What's next? And now moving on to our fourth point, we have, where's the love? Where's the love? And the verse for this point is Psalm 41 verse 9, which says, even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted his heel against me. The people you thought would go to bat for you, who you thought would go to war for you, may not show up. They may not show up for you. And though this may feel like a deep betrayal, it doesn't mean that you can't trust anybody. Because surprisingly enough, support can come from the most unexpected places. You can get more support from a stranger on the street than someone you've known your whole life. So just be open to different relationships and different types of support, despite what you've maybe experienced. It's unfortunate that those of whom we care for may not come through for us, but it doesn't mean that there is nobody out there who's willing to support you, who's willing to have your back. So keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled, and keep moving forward with love in your heart. With love in your heart and hope for love to prevail in your heart. And then there was point number 5. Our last point, which is, you can't be everything to everyone. And the verse for this point is Romans 12, verse 3, which says, for by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober judgment. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, you won't be perfect to everyone. You won't be perfect to everyone. There will be somebody who doesn't like you. There will be somebody who doesn't agree with you. There will be things that you're not good at, and there will be things that you experience that are unfortunate. Life is not perfect. We live in a fallen world. As long as this world is as fallen as it is, as long as it's fallen, you won't be able to attain perfection here. So let go of the idea that you need to do everything, be everything, and be perfect, because you don't need to be. You just need to be who God has called you to be today, to be the child of God that He has called you to be. And whatever that looks like is up to God, and anything outside of it isn't something that you need to attain. And yeah, those are the 5 harsh realities that we as Christians will have to face if we want to continue to walk the path of goodness that God calls us to walk. So without further ado, like, comment, share, do all the things. Share this with somebody who might need it. Comment your opinion. And like this if you found it interesting or it helped you. Or if you just want to like. And yeah, I think that's everything. So, as per usual, I'm not going to do all that, but